So let's move on to some of the other points. Of the 18 vehicles that we've tested so far, we've had a lot of luxury cars. We had the Infiniti Q50, of course the two Cadillacs. We had the Hyundai Equus, we had the Lexus IS 250, we had Kia Cadenza, we had Mercedes E350 wagon, which I haven't been in yet.
I was in last night.
Yeah? What can you tell us about the E350?
It has, I guess you'd call them jump seats in the back because it's a station wagon.
In the third row?
In the
Way in
third
back
row, yeah. So you lift up the floor and there's
It's like
the
my
back.
parents' station wagon when I was a kid. Remember
The back
those?
cushion, and then you lift up another cushion, and it's the bottom cushion.
And you're facing rearward then?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I didn't try it out, but its presence surprised me.
Yeah.
But
That's the one that had the matte wood finish, right? Real natural,
Right.
brown, low gloss.
didn't really do a lot
No?
for me because it's very monotone. It's brown. There's no color variation, and it just, I don't know. I don't think it's as nice as some of the BMW wood trim
Yeah.
like that we've seen.
Okay. Well, early on in the competition, we had the trucks here. We had Chevy Silverado High Country and the GMC Sierra Denali. And talk about expensive vehicles. Those are the top of the range, and they were both well over $50,000. And then we also had the Toyota Tundra 1794 Crew Max, which again, that's the top of their range, and that was not as expensive. I think that was in the mid 40s or something like that. But any impressions about the pickup trucks? I know it was about 3 weeks ago that we had those in here.
Well, just a general impression. I'm still amazed at the beauty of pickup truck interiors these days. I mean, if you look at the old interiors and pictures or whatever, some
It's hard to
pickup
imagine
truck
some
in a
of these-
museum, it
Yeah.
is so plain and so utilitarian and functional. And then you look at today's interiors, and they're just amazing.
You don't want to splash mud on these interiors,
Yeah, I think that some of the best vehicles made right now are the big three pickups.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
I think we all agreed that we weren't impressed by the GM interiors, that they didn't live up to the pricing, or...
When did we agree with that?
Well, I don't know. We've had some conversation. Thomas had some
Maybe this was
conversation.
me saying it. They're nice interiors, they're very functional interiors. It's just that when we had the Ram, we had the Laramie Longhorn last year that had the saddle leather and all the filigree, stamped into the leather, and the saddlebags on the back of the seats, and the bare wood that looked like it came from
Sure.
old fence posts out in a field somewhere. And the GM trucks, nice as they were, they just lacked that dramatic effect.
But that's
you know?
the GM buyer. They are more conservative than the Ram buyer, so you can't
But
get,
if I'm paying more than
real,
$50,000, I want something that
wood.
looks like, fence post wood. I don't want kind of that cheap, grainy plastic faux wood. So, yeah, all the functionality is there, and I think it's a very nice truck, but I think the interiors lack some of that dramatic impact that people want if they're spending that kind of money.
See, I liked the Denali for that reason. It was understated, but it was nicely done. It's kind of a luxury truck for somebody who doesn't want the cowboy look that
Yeah.
you see with
Yeah.
the Toyota or with the Ram you were talking about. So I think it was very more elegant approach to a high-end pickup.
Yeah, it's very subjective, but I would argue that the Ram is almost overdone versus the GM being
It's a
underdone.
little
That could
over
be.
the
Yeah,
top.
that could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and Toyota kind of comes in the middle. They're not as garish as the Ram, but they're a far cry more dramatic, I
Yeah.
guess, than the GM
Yeah,
truck.
they're
So
trying to
there's-
stand out
So
there.
they're somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I really like that braided. It was sort of like a braided or a woven leather they had on the seats. Do you remember that?
In the Tundra?
In the
Or-
Tundra, yeah.
Yeah,
It
that
was like
was
that
nice.
saddle color. and
Right, right.
It wasn't the whole seat. I think there were 3 different materials on the seat. It was. There was some thought put into that. Definitely.
Well, we were going to try to keep this to 2 minutes, and we shot well past our limit. So we're going to come back with more of these updates in the days and weeks to come.